Greetings collectors and welcome to another Bossk Bounty video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the Star Wars The Vintage Collection, The Mandalorian from the Mines of Mandalore. This is the version based on his appearance in Season 3 of The Mandalorian. This figure is part of the latest wave of Vintage Collection figures. I have reviewed all of them on the channel now apart from Axe Woves, I believe. So check those out if you have time. So yeah, I think this is now the 6th time that we've had a Mandalorian on a card back. We've had other versions of him as well in like the rescue set and things like that. But, you know, just going through them, we had him in his original armor. Then we had the Beskar. At around about the same time, we had the battle damaged version. We also had the oversized card with the spider pack. We also had the version in the M1 Starfighter, which this figure is pretty much a repack of. And now we have this version, which is the Mines of Mandalore version. So let's check out the card back. If you do happen to enjoy the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. And it's not a bad image, I guess. You know, he's there with the M1 Starfighter. It's not the greatest image, basically, of the Mandalorian that I've ever seen. It's a little bit dark, but, you know, what can we do? And, of course, like with all the other Mandalorians, they've gone for that darker orange in the name pill and behind the figure. As I mentioned before, the figure is pretty much a repack of the M1 Starfighter. He's got slightly different accessories. I believe you got the spear in that version. And also the version that came with the rescue set, which wasn't on a card, is pretty much the same figure. I think that figure had a different gauntlet to allow for the fire effect that came out of the gauntlet. But there's the card back there. You can see Mines of Mandalore, as I said, Season 3 Mandalorian. Back of the card, VC312. Another image of the card that you're actually getting, which I've said before, I find a little bit weird. We've got the Vintage Collection logo, Disney and Hasbro at the bottom, and that's about it, really. You can see the damage of the Ring of Death. In fact, there's 2 Rings of Death on there, so come on, Hasbro, you need to start sorting this out. We've been telling you about this for so long now that you really should have sorted it out. But I'm opening this one, so it doesn't really matter. And let's check out the figure. Alright then, so here he is out of the packaging, and I've got to say, of course, he's looking awesome. The Mandalorian always looks awesome. He has his soft goods cape, which is an upgrade from the original Beskar Mandalorian, which had a plastic cape. The first time we saw the soft goods cape was actually the exclusive version that came with the Razor Crest. That version wasn't on a card, it's just in a little baggie. But then the version that was packed in the rescue set did have a soft goods cape, and of course the M1 Starfighter version does as well. And from now on, hopefully we're just going to be getting soft goods capes. Hopefully the version that comes with the blurg will have a soft goods cape. And I have found out since my video that I did at the weekend that the version that's going to be packed in with the blurg will have the new style hips to allow him to ride that blurg, which is great. This is the only thing that's really missing from this figure now, is that it doesn't have those barbell hips. But the ball hinge hips on this figure are still pretty good. You can get him into loads of dynamic poses and things like that. But of course it would be even better and definitive if it had the barbell hips. But just looking at him there, the paint applications are great. I'm really liking the silver Beskar now. They've got that shine without going vac metalized. He doesn't need to be vac metalized. That's a really, really good shine there, in my opinion, now for the Beskar armor. You can see he has some sort of browns and blues on the armor, which is accurate to his appearance in Season 3. And I just think, all in all, it's a really, really good figure. In terms of the accessories, we've seen the blaster before, we've seen the boot knife before. One thing that I am a little bit disappointed about is the dark saber and the paint applications on there. They haven't given it the same paint applications that they did with the dark saber that came with the pre-Vizsla figure, I think it was, where the white paint applications around the edge that had that like sort of cackling effect, if you like. It made it look like it was actually lit up, basically, and this one kind of doesn't. I wish they would use the same paint applications for that, but you know, it is what it is. And there is the Mandalorian looking pretty awesome. Now we'll get into the articulation. I will just say that I do have another Mandalorian right here. It is this one. This is the version that came in the rescue set, and you can tell because he has the gauntlet there with the hole in, and that's for the fire effect. Apart from that, they're pretty much exactly the same figure. So some of you out there that already have that figure may not need to pick this one up. Other people that open the N1 Starfighter version, again, you probably don't need to pick up this figure. And in fact, you got more with that figure. You got the spear as well. This one you do not get the spear. I can't remember if you got the jetpack with the M1 Starfighter version. That's my fault because I never opened it. But this one you do, you get his jetpack. So anyway, let's check out the figure in more detail. Alright then, so here is the figure close up, and you know, with all these Mandalorians, they are really, really well made. The sculpting work is really good. It's got to be said, he's got loads of different pieces going on. You've got all the sculpting work on his actual sort of undergarments, and then you've got all of the armour as well. You've got the mud horn there on his shoulder, all the different details on the hands and everything. And then I just love all the different paint schemes that are going on his outfit there. You've got this sort of navy blue there, and then you've got the browns and this sort of like grey piece in the middle. Now this piece here is really what the Axe Woves figure should be like. It should have this piece that drops underneath the belt, which it doesn't do. So that's just one thing to point out when I eventually get round to reviewing the new Axe Woves. There's his soft goods cape. Could do with a little bit of an iron, but then again, do you need to for the Mandalorian? It needs to be a bit sort of, you know, rustic and crimpled, and it's got all holes in it and everything. It's all battle damaged and battle worn. And if we just lift that over there, you can see there is the hole for the jetpack, and it still has the hole also to put his long rifle in the belt there. They haven't changed that, even though you don't get the long rifle, and you get the hole in the back there as well of the figure. So if you want to put the long rifle on his back, you can do. And then he's got his holster at the side there, which the blaster always fits in very, very nicely. So we'll just put that in there. You can just see it comes through onto the bottom. And just overall, these Mandalorian figures are, you know, really, really screen accurate in my opinion, and just really well made. In terms of articulation, this Mandalorian has it all except for the barbell hips, but as I said, these hips are still really, really good. The head is on a double barbell with loads of range of motion, which is, you know, different to what we're seeing on some of the newer Mandalorians. He has the ball hinge shoulders, he has hinges at the elbows, he has hinges at the wrist, he has the torso crunch, he has those hips split at the thigh, which is hidden by the armour. We have a ball hinge knee, and then we have the rocker ankles as well. I believe the original Beskar Mandalorian didn't have rocker ankles. I think we got the rocker ankles version in, I want to say, the rescue set, but we may have got it sooner than that. I can't really remember. But they've slowly but surely been upgrading the Mandalorian as we go along. And as I said, all we're missing now is those barbell hips. But, you know, great looking figure, of course. As I've mentioned with the accessories, wasn't too happy with the dark saber. The jetpack is just a grey piece of plastic. I'm trying to work out if that actually does have any silver paint applications on it. It does kind of shine, but I think it is a bit different to the actual armour. I don't think they've painted that with the same paint applications. And then the boot knife, once again, is, you know, just a sort of grey piece of plastic, and unfortunately you don't have anywhere to store that. I don't think. I've tried looking, there's nowhere on the boot to sort of put that in. And I think the new Black Series version of the Mandalorian that people are raving about does actually have a slot to put the boot knife, very much like with the Paz Vizsla, the heavy infantry Mandalorian. He had a hole in his leg or in his boot to put that knife. Can't see anywhere on this figure where you can do that, but that's just a minor gripe because it is an excellent figure. As I said, if you haven't got any other version of the Mandalorian, or if maybe you've got the original Beskar version and you haven't picked up one since, then this one is well worth getting, purely for the soft goods cape and the updated deco and the rocker ankles and things like that. Really, really cool figure. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I want to thank everybody for watching this video. As always, thank you to my Patreon supporters and channel members. Your support means a great deal to me, so thank you so much. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we shall see you on the next one.